Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Catching Up with the Walkers. We are so glad that you joined us this morning, bright and early. Some of you guys might be watching this later in the day.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. If you got your cup of joe or your cup of coffee, Cassie knows what that is.
I do now. This is the cup I got in Alaska. I bought it because it had this woof. You make it focus, Gary. Had this woof. I thought it was cool. Bought it. I've even used it, and I just realized before Gary pushed play that there's a bear on the other side.
She just took a drink, and she looked at her cup and said, "There's a bear." I was like, "What? There's a bear?"
When we went shopping for souvenirs in Alaska, the wolf side, I guess that's a wolf, it's not a coyote, it's a wolf, was this way. And I know it's not a very big cup, but I like cups like this. It has a lid somewhere. But I just saw it. And then the other day when I used it, I had made coffee here, drank half of it, and then I had to take the Angels to some appointments. So I poured what was left in there, got in the car, and I just drank it. I never really looked. But just now I looked down and was like, there's a bear on the other side. So now I like it even more.
I just think it's funny that you drank out of it once already. And then I realized it, but...
Oh, it's still got the sticker.
Hey, somebody last video told me, hairdryer, take that sticker right off. So I did the hairdryer.
Did they notice your sticker, or did you say something
I
about
talked
it?
about it.
Oh.
So,
it says designed in Alaska.
Yeah.
I bet if you take it off, it says what yours did.
Made in China.
Oh, it says made in China on this sticker.
Yeah. So thank you for that tip, though. It did work. The sticker kind of peeled off after that. I think you get the glue hot and it comes off.
Is CA California or is that Canada?
Depending,
It says
talking about countries or
not
states?
intended for sale in CA.
Probably California, because
Not tested for CA Prop 65?
Yeah, California Proposition 65.
What's that mean?
So California has the craziest laws around like things that you drink out of, things that touch you, like clothing, things that are used in manufacturing processes that like 1 out of 10 million that cause somebody to have cancer. And so they have really, really strict guidelines. And
Well, I think I bought this in Alaska.
Same thing for employers. Employing people in California. I know they go through a lot of red tape when I went to different HR
Now I'm intrigued.
training and stuff in the past. California is a tough place to get situated legally. So there you go. Proposition
Something new every
65.
day.
Watch out, you Californians. That might be at risk because it was not tested for you. But everybody else in the 49 states,
can use it.
anybody in the other 49 states, you're good to go. U.S. Virgin Islands, not a problem. But California, not tested.
All right, we should probably talk about what we were going to talk about.
So thank you guys so much for stopping by. I know that we are right in the middle of gardening season. And I know I've got a lot of fellow gardeners out there. Some of you garden right now. Some of you have probably gardened in the past. I know we have a lot of followers here that tell us that you grew up with a garden. And I think that's, a thing that
pretty typical.
Almost everybody did. At some point, the government was telling you to raise a garden because when our country was at war and, they had to dedicate all of their resources to armed forces, they told everybody, raise a liberty.
Figure it out on your own.
Liberty garden or freedom garden or there's a lot of different names. You guys might have some names that you want to share. But basically the idea is what we do. We make a small garden big enough for our family. We raise a few chickens and we're more self-sufficient because of that.
Kind of what everybody's getting back to. Kind of.
Well, everybody.
I shouldn't say everybody.
That follows us on YouTube.
In our neck of the woods because we live in a rural area.
Yeah.
Oh, when you take a drink, I have to talk about something.
I got no pressure. Just you don't like awkward silence, do you?
No.
Here, we're going to try something and be awkward silence for 10 seconds. Ready? Go. Well, that was
We've
awkward.
already lost all of our people.
Okay, so back to what we were talking about. If you garden, then you may have started getting some stuff out of your garden like this. Let us know down in the comments below if you've been getting stuff out of your garden already. We're in Oklahoma zone. You know what zone we're in?
No, but I'm trying not to yawn because people said I was making them yawn last time.
Yeah, you yawned a lot. You were really tired. I think you're better tonight, though. You got all the orange on, too. Brightens you up.
Go ahead.
So, if you guys are getting anything out, I just picked these. We walked by yesterday. We saw these in the garden, and me and Ransom picked them out, and they are just beautiful. Long neck or summer squash, depends what you call them.
And those are the seeds from hostels? Or no?
This one might have been a plant that my mom had given me.
By?
Yeah, the green grenade squash, and there's some other yellow squash that
green
are growing.
Griller squash.
Green griller squash, and the other one are grenade, and I think they're yellow.
It's hard to keep up with all the names. I just remember green griller because if you use our affiliate link and do WFF21 in the code section or whatever, you get free green griller squash.
A packet of green griller. And I want to try that because we grill a lot in the summertime, and I've never actually tried those. But this year I'm going to because they're coming up, they're blooming, and they're looking good. But what I wanted to talk about today was the easiest things to get started in a garden. So if you're just getting started with your garden, like getting into gardening, because I know there are a lot of people that after the pandemic last year and the need for being more reliant on self-sufficient, relying on yourself, not necessarily the grocery store, because as we all went through and noticed, the grocery store has ran out of meat, they've ran out of vegetables at one time or another, they ran out of toilet paper.
That won't ever happen to us again.
We're thankful that's past us. I mean, we were trading chickens for toilet paper, literally, weren't we?
Yep.
It got that bad.
People that weren't here are like, what?
Yeah. Over at Walker Farm Fam, we were doing that. And but if you're just now getting into gardening, I want to share what I think, and from our experience, the easiest thing to grow in a garden. And number one on the list is squash. So squash, zucchini squash or long neck squash are two. Yellow squash. They're two of the easiest things to grow. In my experience, year over year, we have grown them without problems at all.
Other than the squash bugs.
Well, the squash bugs can be an issue, but I haven't seen a single one this year.
Yeah.
And they usually...
But it's more of a nuisance and a grossness. It's not like they destroy your whole plant, I guess.
Depends how bad they get. Oh, they can.
Maybe.
But depending on where you're at geographically, sometimes they're worse. But also depending on the time of year. So I know squash bugs here usually get worse later on in the year. And for squash plants, like the ones I got these off of, they're usually, produced a lot after the first couple of months anyway. So to me, this is one of the easiest things to grow in a garden.
I would agree.
Second, what do you think the second thing is?
Peppers.
Yes, peppers.
And you're the garden. I'm not even the garden lady. You're the garden man.
Good job. Peppers have been so hardy year over year.
I was just thinking of when I go out there, what I can count on to get to pick an abundance of.
Yeah,
and it's always peppers.
And we plant jalapeno peppers, sweet jalapeno peppers, banana peppers, bell peppers. I try to get different colors because I like a lot of color in our food, especially with my peppers. I like to try to plant reds and greens and yellows, bell peppers. But peppers are consistently producing year over year, every single time. They always seem to come through for us.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
And what's your favorite thing to eat with peppers?
Bacon and cheese?
Yes. So what are they called? Cheddar?
Stuffed jalapeno peppers or
poppers?
Jalapeno poppers.
Jalapeno poppers. You want to tell them about those? Some people may have not had them before.
Well, then they're missing out.
Well, this is why we grow jalapeno peppers every year.
Yeah. I can't do heat. I love the taste and the flavor of hot things, but I immediately start flowing from my nose and my eyes, and my mouth's on fire, then my lips hurt, and then it's just not enjoyable. So I put on gloves first foremost, because your hands will be on fire. Cut the jalapenos in half. Take every seed out. Don't leave one behind. Unless you just like it.
Unless you want a little heat, and that's where you leave some seeds
One
behind.
seed, I can, like, if I miss a seed or two and bite into one, like, I can tell. But take all the seeds out, and then you mix together cream cheese and shredded cheese. Mm-hmm. Right?
Kind of like a 50-50 mix.
Too easy, but that's what it is, isn't it?
Cream cheese and cheddar.
And then you put that on one half of the jalapeno. The bacon, I like to cut it in half. Depends on what you're using, what kind of bacon.
If you can get the thinner bacon, you can actually wrap the whole pepper up better. If you're using the thicker bacon, sometimes it's a little tougher. Yeah,
so I mean, trial and error and how you like it. Wrap that around the pepper, put a toothpick in it, put it on the grill.
So also, one thing we've done in the past, sometimes the grill can be kind of iffy depending on your grill. You might undercook the bacon, or if you have a hot flame underneath, you might actually scorch the bacon because all the fat coming off.
That's true. Before we got the Traeger pellet grill, we would put them in the oven for a little bit.
Yeah, and so putting them in the oven and letting that bacon kind of shrink up a little bit and get halfway cooked, or
a lot better,
2/3 of the way, then just throw it on the grill and let it get a nice crisp on it.
Yeah, but with the pellet grill, I haven't been putting them in the oven anymore.
No, the pellet grill more is a bake. And it has a shield to where the flame isn't shooting up, so it catches the grease.
It's an even cook.
Yeah. So I love those poppers, and my favorite thing to do with them after we cook them is put 2 of them right on top of a nice big cheeseburger, and put all your toppings, your lettuce, tomato, pickles, all that. Boom. Maybe not pickles if you're putting the peppers on, but but you get the idea. And then
you're making me hungry.
I know. Bite into that, and it is so good.
It screams summertime.
Yes, that is like you got the kids splashing in the pool. You got
that we don't have. You're thinking of when we go to my sister's.
I know. You got the kids doing their thing in the pool. You got your feet up on the lawn chair, relaxing. Nice big popper cheeseburger.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I told my brother-in-law about putting one on the cheeseburger, I'm pretty sure he gave me a funny face, and then he loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and another reason to grow jalapeno peppers, or really any peppers, we like to stuff our bell peppers too with sausage and cream cheese, and sometimes throw some other rice or whatever you got in there, and they turn out really good too. So there's a couple ideas. Next one is the last one.
You said 2. You're doing 3?
Yeah, 3. I got one more. 3 things. The easiest things to start with in the garden. So one more thing. And this is like every garden needs this.
Tomatoes?
Yes, tomatoes. So what would any garden be without a vine ripened tomato that you can pick right out of the garden? I like to...
The cherry tomatoes are my favorite if we're picking right out of the garden. I'm going to bring them in and wash them off and cut them up and put some salt on them. You know, the big ones are awesome. But the cherry tomatoes, I get one, I kind of rub the dirt off, pop it in my mouth.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I snack while I'm out there. It's kind of like when we go pick blueberries. See
if you can eat more than you
We pick 3 gallons, but I make sure the kids eat at least 1.5 gallons while we're there. Make sure we get our money's worth. Joke. That's a joke. Outback Farm will be there this year to pick our berries. We don't eat more than 1 gallon, our whole family, while we're there. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to sample them to make sure you like them.
Well, for sure, because we didn't realize, last year when we went, we ended up picking 3 or 4 different kinds, and then we ended up only really liking one of them. I mean, the other ones were good, but we had our favorite, was it the Dukes? I'm going to have to look back at our video.
No, it was the Blues. I think Blues. Was it blue? It was like one word. It wasn't Duke. Now we gotta look.
We're gonna have to look back at our old video for when we go.
When I go there, though, I know where they were at.
Yeah, it was the last one we picked. Those were our favorite. They were like candied.
They were really big and just had
flavorful.
Not too tart, but had enough tart.
One of them was really tart, and I didn't like it, but you liked it.
Mm-hmm. I like the tart blueberries because I just like a few of them, especially in muffins and on my oatmeal. And
well, it'd be different than if you're just popping them in your mouth.
Yeah, the boys really like to snack on them straight out of the freezer. They throw them in.
Yeah, frozen. I can't do that. That hurts my teeth.
So, don't have any blueberries. We have blackberries, but
Well, we don't have any blackberries yet.
They're out there. They're growing. Did you see
really?
them? Yeah, I need to put a little more rabbit manure and fertilizer around them just because they're putting on right now. So
they won't be any tomorrow. I'm gonna go eat them all.
They're not ready yet.
Oh.
That was a rabbit that we chased. Back to tomatoes. Tomatoes. It's been hit or miss on.
One year they were horrible.
On the amount.
2 years ago they didn't even taste good though. Remember that? And other people said theirs didn't taste good.
Yeah, that was something to do with the weather. That was the year we had like 30 or 40 days of like no good sunshine and a lot of rain, and tomatoes were bad that year. But most years, year over year, we do get a lot of tomatoes. I put up like 15 jars of salsa, 20 jars of salsa last year.
Quite a few.
I think I still got a jar or two left.
My favorite is the carrots though.
Yeah. Well, I've got a bunch of yellow carrots that we're going to get in the next few days. So
the pickled carrots. Mm-hmm. That was my favorite thing you made.
That's what I want to do with the yellow carrots in the garden. I want to pickle them. So, but the tomatoes, easy to grow. People can grow them in a 5-gallon bucket. They can grow them in the ground. You can grow them in a tub. You can... Remember that year?
Did my mom have something? She grew them upside down?
No, that was us. Oh. Remember when we lived in town? I tried that. It was a 5-gallon bucket. We cut holes in, like a hole in the bottom and 2 holes in the sides. And I tried to grow them in a 5-gallon bucket, and they didn't work out.
Yeah, but my mom had this thing that she bought at the store, and it was like turned upside down.
Yeah.
There's like a million ways to do it.
There's, 100 ways to grow tomatoes. Grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, purple tomatoes, every color of tomato you can think of, they're all good. You can't go wrong with any tomato. Hybrid tomato,
green tomato,
fried green tomatoes. We could make some of those right now. We're starting to get some tomatoes put it on the plants. So those are the 3 though. So if I had to tell anybody that's starting a garden, your first 3 things to grow. Well, first of all, before that, grow the things that you like. Like grow what you're going to eat. But if you're having difficulties with, growing a bunch of green beans or...
Well, and I don't think corn is as easy as people think.
Corn, well, to a lot of people when you're starting gardening, some people are intimidated, I think, or don't have the tools to do an in-ground garden. And so corn's one of those things, maybe you can grow it in a raised bed, but I feel like long rows or rows of several rows where they can cross-pollinate and everything do better. But all the stuff we talked about, you can just, you can
do it a lot of different ways.
Yeah. You have Chad over at Adler Farms. He has his tanks he got from Tartar. Mm-hmm. There's kind of round rings. His garden's looking great. Hidden Heights, they have raised bed garden, a really nice fence around it. Dutch and last year grew a lot of stuff in
those hydroponics.
Arms family, he's done both. He's got his high tunnel.
Yeah.
He's got all kinds of stuff growing in there.
Leon.
He's done the wicking tubs from Gardening with Leon and Grow Jack Outdoors. It's crazy what he does just to get his pumpkins so big.
I know. If you missed the Walker Farm Fam video yesterday, we said we owe Grow Jack Outdoors an apology. He sent us some pumpkin seeds from his huge award-winning pumpkins, and we failed to get them started when we should have. So we're just now getting to it. But if you guys haven't checked out Grow Jack Outdoors, you need to head over there. The kid is legit. I think he's 12-ish. And he's from Oklahoma, and he is a go-getter. He just got a greenhouse. He made a wind block for his pumpkins. Like, he's in it. But he also grows, 900-pound pumpkins?
Yeah, he grows
500-pound watermelons?
Huge pumpkins. He also traps. He does trapping. Mm-hmm. And it's just a fun channel to go and watch. So you can tell when he's making his videos, he's having a lot of fun. Yep. And that's what makes the videos fun to watch.
Yeah, you can tell no one's forcing him to do it. It's not like what am I saying? Like a show, you know what I mean? It's just him, and that's him every day, and he's just doing his thing and sharing it with everybody. So it's real cool.
So his garden is another great example of, and I just named all those people because there's so many ways of doing it. You know, our garden's in ground, and not everybody's going to grow it the way we do, but we enjoy growing it. We enjoy teaching our kids how to grow it and working in it and finding the vegetables you like and playing around, experimenting with how you grow them best is going to probably in the long run make you more excited about gardening and keep you going, because it is a lot of work. Some people think that you can get by with not so much work. It's going to be a little bit of work. So I think that's everything that I was going to cover about gardening. I mean,
you could talk all day about gardening, but
yeah, I really one of my favorite things of the year is gardening and being able to just go out there, break the dirt up, get back into it. And as you saw when we got back from Alaska, if you follow this over at Walker Farm Fam, the garden was a wreck, and we got that turned around and it's doing better now. Well, now we're about ready to start getting a dry spell, so we're going to have to keep watering it. I mean, there's always some time to work, and then harvesting is work.
Harvesting is a lot of work, and the kids and I try to do as much as we can. Gary does a great job of getting it in the ground, tilling it, weeding it, doing all that, and then the kids and I try to keep up with picking things and gathering and doing all that, but we're not always great at it.
Hey, it's never going to be perfect, and that's what I try to tell the kids is it doesn't have to be perfect. You just can't give up. You just got to keep going with it. So
I'm so sorry.
Last tip, if you are starting a new garden, those are 3 things that are great to grow. But if you're at a brand new place, a brand new farm, maybe you bought an old farm or there was somebody that lived there before, if you can, ask where the old garden spot was. Because if you can find the old garden spot and there has been a farmer or a gardener that's went ahead of you the last 10, 15, 20 years, and every time they tilled, they picked up a rock and threw it out of the garden, that is priceless. Yep. Because preparing that soil, every year you put back nutrients back into it to make it better. And so if you can find that garden spot on your place or your homestead or your farm, if you're starting a new garden, then it's going to be a lot better than any other place that you can find.
We got really lucky at our old farm finding the garden spot. Rocks wasn't horrible, the dirt was pretty rich, and we had volunteer stuff grow. Like we didn't plant lettuce, and we had lettuce that one year and different things. So that was really cool. No one had lived at the place in over 2 years, so I don't know how long until a garden. But as soon as we started,
whenever we bought it, I picked up a bunch of tires. So some people use old tires as rings around their tomato plants. And so when I picked up those tires and they were evenly spaced out, I knew it was the garden then. And then once I started tilling it up, I knew for sure it was, because when I got to the edge of the garden, I started getting into more rocks. And so that's the key thing is getting as good a soil as you can. Here at our house, when we bought this place, it was a pasture, and there had never been a garden raised down here, maybe by the old house up there. So this was a little more work. We hauled in all that mushroom compost, and that's helped a lot. But there's some gardening tips if you're getting started. Hopefully those will help you out. But Cassie, catching up with the Walkers. What's been going on lately? What
has been going on? We apologize to Growjack when we got our pumpkin started. Ransom got bunk beds in his room, and he and our Angel are really excited about that. They've been sleeping well. Everyone's doing great. We announced that pretty soon we'll be doing our Reckless Beef, where we donate half a beef to the Reckless Saints of Nowhere, who is a nonprofit ministry who gets addicts into treatment for no cost to them or their family. And so we know them personally. We support them 100%. We did this last year, and we're excited and thankful that we are able to do this again this year. And in about a week or so, we will be announcing on Walker Farm Fam all the specifics, which we'll probably announce it here too, of what to do and how to get entries, and they're making a t-shirt and different things like that. So we're really excited to get that kicked off and up and going.
This is just like our annual opportunity for us to give back to the Reckless Saints of Nowhere, and also get you guys involved and let you become aware of their ministry and all the work they do. So it's for us, it's a win-win because we want to help them and support them. But if we can like grow that reach a little bit, then we're doing even more. So that's our goal.
Yeah, pre-YouTube, we have promoted them all we could on Instagram. I've had Instagram for a while, and we would tell people about them and promote them and buy their shirts and encourage others to. And then last year, Gary had an idea of how about we go above and beyond that? Maybe not above and beyond, but how about we do a little better and actually donate something to them that they can profit from. So in order to get addicts into treatment at no cost for their family, they have to have donations of money coming in. So they sell t-shirts, hats, hoodies, beanies. They have different fundraisers or whatever. And so this is just another way that...
Yeah, and they work. So for 90% of the revenue...
True. I keep forgetting to mention that.
Yeah, the 90% of the revenue that they use to get addicts into treatment... and drug, alcohol addicts.
Reckless workforce.
Yeah, whoever's addicted. They have the reckless workforce that does all kinds of work. They mow yards. They helped your sister move into a new house. They pick up sticks and
I think I saw they were doing flooring at someone's the other day, but I could be wrong.
They'll do flooring. They do painting. They do any kind.
Cut wood. They do a lot of that.
In the wintertime?
Cutting wood and delivering wood and all that.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Jordan started his t-shirt designs, and he designs everything himself. He'll design the logo when we sell the one for Reckless Beef, and they sell tons of t-shirts all the way across the country. So 100% of those profits go back to getting addicts into treatment. So they unlike a lot of the government programs or a bunch of the programs that don't work, like the success rate is like 30%. The reckless.
No, I think the success rate was like 4%.
Like 7%.
Yeah.
So the really low success rate, those funded by the government. Well, the difference with the Reckless Saints of Nowhere is they are tied back to faith-based and
year-long treatments,
and only year-long treatments. And with those two contributing factors, their success rates are huge, like 70-80%, like unheard of to people in the government. So we are huge supporters of them for multiple reasons, but mainly because the good work they're doing. And and so that's why we're doing that, but more to come on that. We're probably getting ahead of ourselves, but more to come. But we are passionate about raising beef and raising animals here on the farm. So it's our way to share our passion with their passion and help the cause. So enough of that. We'll move on to praying. A few updates, I think, today. So Chris over at Jimmy Houston Outdoors is doing better and at home. It's so great to see her in the videos and her being able to see her own deer and that kind of thing. So just continued prayers for her recovery. But as anybody knows that's been in the hospital for any amount of time, that feeling when you're back at home is just priceless. So we are really thankful for that and thankful for everyone's prayers.
Yes, and my mom is doing good after her surgery on her thumb. She's back at work. She's doing great. So we truly appreciate you guys praying for her procedure. She still isn't completely healed up, but she's doing awesome. And then we had asked you to pray for our little buddy Jericho, who's been battling childhood cancer. He had his big test yesterday. I haven't heard the results yet, but just continuing prayer for him and his little body and his family, and that God would just continue to give him strength and answers and peace. Yeah, so big praises. Got to give credit where the credit's due. We thank God for everything he's doing with everybody that has been leaving prayer requests in the comments too. Some people come back and update us, and I know we've had some good updates recently, so if you guys read through those, you'll be encouraged just like we are. Yeah, I can't remember the name. Like I said, I always think, oh, I'm going to mention that, and then it leaves my mind. But she had said she got to come home from the doctor and was doing good, or home from the hospital. So that's just an encouragement, and we thank you guys so much. When you guys go down and encourage each other and pray for each other, and please know that we read each and every comment, and we are praying for you, and we appreciate when you pray for us. Yeah. So thank you all for stopping by today. We hope you're getting your weekend started off and you have a great one. We thank you for following along. Have a great day and God bless. Love you guys.